What harmful things are being taught to children? Being wrong is bad. That's why many people don't change their mind when they were given trustable sources. They don't want to be wrong. In a nasty divorce, the parents may only talk about each other's bad qualities and the kids may have an issues with their parents. That failure is bad. Failing should not be considered as an obstacle but a step in the learning process. Demonizing the failure and stigma associated with it makes many children lose their interest once they fail. You do not have to play with everyone. There is a total lack of social accountability. If Laura is always cheating at tag, it's okay to not let her play. If little Billy throws sand in a sandbox, little Timmy does not have to play with him. Laura and Billy need to learn how to play appropriately. Happened to my son in middle school. A kid sucker punched my son. My son then fought back and pinned the kid against the wall. He has long arms, and punched him a few times. The school called me and my wife and told us our son was suspended. We went to the school and they said even though multiple witnesses as well as the kid said he threw the first punch, that the school had a zero tolerance policy, so our son would be suspended. We asked what the school believed our son should have done and they said he should just walk away. We told them that he would not be receiving any punishment at home and that the policy was ducked up. No back talk. Many adults use it as "you're not allowed to challenge what I have to say." Makes sense if it's a cranky toddler being negative for negativity's sake. But suddenly older children can't question things or raise valid points of their own. Teaching them that it's not okay to fail. Some people need a little more time than others. It's okay to not get something now. Kids should be given more time to process things. Imagine having a poor grade because of a low score from the beginning of the year. How can we show children that it's not pass or fail? It's try and improve? Nobody cares about children's/teens issues. Well, it's only going to get worse from here. You think school is hard? Have you ever paid a ducking bill? You're just a kid, you can't feel this way. It breeds an emotional disconnect from parents and their kids. And makes kids feel alone in their emotional struggles. That nobody cares because they're not adults and they don't have adult problems. Kids are starting social media so early these days. And I think that's very dangerous because it puts a lot of pressure on the kid to attribute their worth to their social media success. I also think parents are way too open with their social media when it comes to their kids. And it's totally a violation of the child's privacy, of which some parents will never admit. To repress their emotions. It will only cause them to bottle them up and accumulate them to the point of exploding in an instant. I personally hate when I hear parents telling their kids white lies to stop them from doing something. You show me respect first because I'm an adult and have authority, then I choose whether I should show you respect no other way. Making children hug or kiss someone, usually a relative, that they are uncomfortable with is not good. The child may just be grumpy and or not wanting to show affection, or their warning bell sensors could be going off and they do not know how to communicate that. Plus, forcing them to hug/kiss sends mixed messages about personal/physical boundaries and affection itself. That complaining is the same as not being grateful. Can't count the number of times growing up when adults basically told me to shut up whenever I was complaining about something and that I should be grateful that I was born where I was. Like, sure, I'm glad I wasn't born into some starving African family. But that doesn't mean everything is perfect over here and that we shouldn't try to improve things here as well. I would say what's harmful is what's not being taught. She's younger than you. Just let it go. Can't you be more compassionate? You're the older one here in this situation. She's a little child. She doesn't know any better. Absolutely hate this information that was drilled into me since I was a kid. I think what we're not taught is more harmful. For example, the fact that we never learn, at least in my country, how to fact-check things. Good will win. Evil will be punished. There is no karma. Some people will do all sorts of shitty stuff and be successful and happy. Other people will do good and will end up with cancer. Political views. At ages that children are really too young to understand them, they just spout off their parents' thoughts. Teaching kids not to question things just because someone is older or allegedly wiser is one of the most frustrating things that I see on a daily basis. How is a child supposed to ever develop any individual and nuanced ideas if they can't think for themselves? That everybody is a winner? No. Losing and disappointments are part of life, and they are integral to your growth both emotionally and socially. We have a lot of people who enter the real world who have been told they are deserving of things just because, and cannot take rejections and losses in their personal and professional lives with any grace whatsoever. This is also resulting in mediocrity being accepted as a norm cause nobody wants to call out ineptitude, while the hard work and dedication being put in by people who do end up in good positions are being played down. It's a little harsh, but it's true. Kids gotta learn how to lose before they can truly start to win. That's the only way being gracious and victory will ever come about. That you can be anything you want in life. Sorry, but this just isn't correct. Poor Eddie, who can't grasp basic division, isn't going to be an astronaut. If he's mean to you, he likes you. It just teaches little girls, mostly girls, to expect violence from people who love them. Finishing your plate, you should eat till you're full, not until there is no more food on your plate. Kids today are more aware of consequence and their digital footprint than any generation before. Speaking strictly of middle and high school aged kids, they are extremely well aware of how something can come back to bite them later in life. Some might think this is good and a step towards a more mindful generation, but I disagree. They've just gotten better at hiding it. For the sake of maintaining a happy face and limiting their digital footprint, kids today repress anything that might be perceived as off track. The lie that life is fair and things happen for benevolent, valid reasons. Then we let them get burned and figure it out themselves. That it's okay to take your anger out on other people, and that everyone should have social media and compare themselves to those who look better. History from a single perspective. I am a history teacher, and I firmly believe one of the most damaging things schools do is teach history from a single perspective, especially a Eurocentric one. It just isn't how history works and causes lots of issues for any person/group who doesn't share that single perspective. P.S. Teaching what I call great man history is almost as bad. History was made by more than presidents, inventors, and celebrities. Teaching only about significant figure after significant figure minimizes the impact of the 99.9999999% of the population that isn't super famous. This is more at a high school level, but that trade schools or learning a trade is a lesser option compared to a standard college degree. Trade schools and learning a skilled trade need just as much emphasis as a college degree. Along those same lines, college, or trade school, should be treated as a busy investment. Time should be taken for kids/teens to examine how long it will take to repay their schooling and if that degree is worth the money. Especially now, with previous generation living longer and staying in the job market longer, combined with more and more people graduating with degrees, there is more supply and the demand is not growing evenly in all areas of expertise. There was this one time my sister's Spanish teacher told her off for using vocabulary outside the sheet she had been given for homework. Their task was to write a short essay introducing themselves in Spanish and use some simple adjectives. She asked me for help, and since I'm quite a bit older than her and know a decent amount of Spanish, I have her a few interesting adjectives and verbs to use instead of dumb stuff like nice and kind or whatever. She comes back after school close to tears and tells me she got scolded for using vocab that wasn't on the sheet. SMH teachers are supposed to encourage learning, not hinder it. Right? No tolerance policy and fighting back if you are getting beat up isn't right. Also, no hitting girls back. That they don't have to be personally responsible for their actions, and blame can always be shifted to some societal ill. That you shouldn't hit a woman. Don't hit anyone, unless it's self-defense. If my child is being hit by a woman and bullied, equal rights, equal fights. Lack of electronics. Then given an overdose of electronics, things happen to me and now I can't stop playing games. Also, I'm restricting myself now. No telling tales or snitching like how many kids are abused or bullied and won't come forward because of this. introducing and letting them get addicted to electronics at a very early age. Small doses I feel are fine, but I feel like so many children nowadays are overstimulated with screen time that it's hard for them to focus or pay attention because they are already addicted to playing with a phone or playing iPad. The problem with parents that I have observed is if their kids misbehave, they don't discipline them, but rather enable the behavior. For example, when I see kids act out or throw a tantrum in public, their parents will just let them use their phone or iPad, which just enables the behavior of acting up so they can get what they want. Going too far on the find your dream job and it'll never feel like work stuff really messed me up when I wasn't excited about uni assignments and thought I had to change degrees, that they are special and unique compared to everyone else. I'm not saying to destroy a kid's self-esteem, but the longer that bubble isn't popped, the harder it is for them to accept that they are probably just as average as the other 7 billion people. Kids need to know failure and disappointment before they become adults. That the world outside your house is a scary and dangerous place. In the United States, it is largely not. Let them explore without fear. Universities are teaching capitalism is bad and socialism and communism are good, contrary to hundreds of years of evidence proving exactly the opposite. They are also teaching kids that there's more than two genders. Science be damned. That climbing the corporate ladder and putting off family until your 30s will make you happy. Social acceptance. I feel that I was robbed a lot of innocence out of my childhood, not just because my stepdad was abusive, but I've been bullied all my life. From a young age I realized that I was never going to fit in because I was different. To this day I can't put my finger on what about me is different, but now that I'm 14 and a teenage girl, I'm starting to not care and not let it get to me as much as it did when I was, say, 6. Bullying isn't okay, I know that, and I have been up and down the head teacher's office because of bullying, but nothing ever gets done. To be honest, the only thing in recent years they've done that's actually hurt me was them filming me having a panic attack and triggering me during it. They allegedly put it on TikTok. They told me that's what they were doing and many other people knew about it the day after. I hope now bullying won't be there in 20 years' time, but I know it will never die.